wanted the gang, you should have just asked for it.
Back to Saweetie, I think he was definitely talking about my.
If me and Mel are together and I cheat on her and I go get
some
or
and then I end up with
somebody that's
Idris.
Dodging the hit and the two going toe-to-toe over what seems to be an orange Call of Duty.
I'm a Sagittarius man, right? As a man, it's my birthday. I have to understand what is the cause and effect of some shit.
By the way, I've talked to them. Yo, Offset done fuck, what is it? Saweetie, Krishan Rock, Ari, like, yo, this is, yo, Offset was piping out chicks that Cardi was supposed to do music with.
You will see a situation 6 months after a situation.
It's looking like somebody might have just got iced out of the bad and bougie circle for good, because Quavo and Offset might be back throwing shots at each other. And this time, the streets think it's officially over. The official story: Offset was supposedly just talking about lies, growth, and cause and effect during his sit-down on Joe Budden's podcast. But the unofficial story? People swear this man basically slid in a sly diss and let the streets connect it right back to the frosty ex of his own cousin. And just like that, the internet detectives clocked in, old receipts started flying, shady lyrics, messy interviews, cryptic posts, and suddenly folks are piecing together that maybe, just maybe, this alleged betrayal was the real crack that split the Migos for good. Now here's the thing. These two weren't just rap partners. They're family, blood. You'd think a line would have been drawn somewhere. But if the rumors are real, Offset might have crossed a line you cannot uncross. And word on the block is, Quavo didn't just get mad, he made moves. If that's true, we could be looking at a whole new season of the Migos Cold War. And it's about to get ugly, flashy, and very bougie. So let's break it down. Offset walked into that Joe Budden interview with pure unbothered energy. Cool, calm, looking like he had zero to prove. But the moment the convo shifted to relationships, heartbreak, and cheating, his tone switched. He started dropping lines that had the streets perking up instantly.
I'm a Sagittarius man, right? As a man, it's my birthday. I have to understand what is the cause and effect of some shit.
Translation: this man's all but hinting he knows exactly why Cardi's been seen with Stephon Diggs. And that's got everybody talking. Because let's be real, he's done her dirty more times than the internet can even keep track of. And of course, Joe Budden couldn't resist. He pulled out the receipts of all receipts.
If me and Mel are together and I cheat on her and I go get
some
or
and then I end up with
somebody that's
Idris. He reminded everybody that Offset's roster was far from short. And yes, certain names popped up right alongside each other in the same breath. Idris, Chris, Chrissy, and Rock. Ari, you get the picture.
You will see a situation 6 months after a situation. You see what I'm saying? You'll see some because it's outside. I'm in a public situation, so you're gonna see it when you see it, and then your opinion comes in.
And the wild part? Offset didn't even try to deny it. He just let it sit there, silent but loud, leaving everybody in the room to connect the dots for themselves. It was that wink wink, say no more type of energy, in speaking without actually saying a word.
And that I left went up, so I don't know how to experience.
By the time Joe wrapped it up, the whole thing felt less like an interview and more like a full-on confession booth. Offset kept it vague, never confirming, never denying. But you could tell if the rumor mill wanted to go crazy, he wasn't about to slow it down. That's exactly when the streets started whispering. Because if Offset's cool with playing his cards on camera like that, what's really going on off camera? And if that's the case, how far is Quavo from making his next move in the shadows? Remember, Quavo and Saweetie's fallout wasn't just a breakup. It was a headline-making drama fit for a reality show. We had elevator scuffles caught by TMZ, the Bentley snatchback, and subtweets sharp enough to cut ice. But by late 2022, Quavo wasn't just throwing shade anymore. He was dropping the whole iced-out forest on her. That messy track with Takeoff? Yeah, he didn't hold back. Quavo rapped, "Isha, please, cause she too messy. Please beef my dog behind my back, but I ain't stressing, not at all. You went the gang." That wasn't subtle. That was a shot straight to the heart of the gossip game. He should have just come out and said it. We would have blessed it. But the moment that bar dropped, the internet turned into a full-on crime lab. Threat threads, YouTube breakdowns, Reddit theories. Everybody was dissecting every word. And every clue kept circling right back to Offset. Here's the logic that had the streets buzzing.
Wanted the gang you should have just asked for.
Back to Saweetie, I think he was definitely talking about my said he say on the song, cousin. Gang is referring to Migos. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody in the gang.
Gang in that verse could only mean Migos, and gang could also mean family. That's when it clicked for everyone. Quavo and Takeoff were out here running their own plays, while Offset was swerving in his own lane. And suddenly, that one verse explained more about the Migos split than any statement or press run ever did. Because if the dog in that track was really Offset and the gang was Migos, then this wasn't just messy. This was betrayal on a level you don't patch up with a couple of diss tracks. And remember, Offset and Quavo aren't just rap partners, they're blood cousins. In their world, a man's girl, past or present, doesn't get touched without that blessing. So when whispers started swirling that Saweetie might have hooked up with Offset, it wasn't just some spicy gossip. It was a direct hit to the Migos brotherhood. And here's where it gets even heavier. Before the breakup even went public, TMZ dropped a bomb. Elevator footage from a North Hollywood apartment complex.
In a recent video released by TMZ, the rappers are involved in a full-on physical scuffle while on an elevator. The surveillance footage was caught on camera at an apartment complex in North Hollywood, dodging the hit and the two going toe-to-toe over what seems to be an orange Call of Duty case. The fight continues inside the elevator with Quavo dragging her inside, Saweetie taking a spill and seemingly being injured while the Migos rapper does nothing to help her. At one point, he seems to realize the camera has recorded their altercation, but still does nothing to assist Saweetie, who is still on the ground. This video, which apparently happened in 2020, is a shocking turn of events, which comes on the heels of news of their breakup.
It was tense, uncomfortable to watch, ending with her on the ground while he stood there, allegedly injured. Just weeks later, Saweetie tweeted out, "I'm single. I've endured too much betrayal and hurt behind the scenes for a false narrative to be circulating that degrades my character." That tweet alone sent shockwaves and made the rumors even harder to ignore. Presents don't cover scars, and love ain't real if that intimacy's being handed out to other women. Now, before anybody thought Quavo was about to tweet some kind of apology for what went down on camera, he flipped it back on Saweetie. He fired off, "I had love for you, and I'm disappointed you did all that. You were not the woman I thought you were. I wish you nothing but the best." That's when the cheating rumors hit overdrive. Then came the online grenade. Celebrity stylist Khalil, better known as Zaslamus, jumped in and lit the match with one cryptic tweet, "Do you really want to discuss husbands?" That was aimed straight at Cardi B after she'd stepped in to defend her man, while Offset was catching legal heat over weed and gun charges. The streets froze because suddenly everyone was asking, who exactly are you defending? Quavo never confirmed a thing, but his music kept throwing fuel on the fire. People were quoting his own bars about loyalty. Loyalty that fans believe got left bleeding on that infamous elevator floor. And just when it seemed like the tension between Quavo and Offset had already hit max level, the 2023 Grammys happened. Sources at the show claimed that right before Quavo took the stage to perform Without You for Takeoff's tribute, he and Offset got into a full-on physical fight backstage. They had to be pulled apart, and yes, there's a short clip floating online showing both of them being held back and calmed down. Word is, Quavo allegedly blocked Offset from stepping on stage during the tribute, and that's when it got explosive. One camp swears Quavo sparked the fight. Offset, for his part, hit X just hours later to shut down that rumor completely. But by then, the drama had already gone viral. "What the F I look like fighting my brother? Y'all crazy." That's what Offset shot back online. But the fans, they weren't buying it. A lot of people pointed out that at Takeoff's funeral months earlier, Offset and Quavo didn't speak, didn't make eye contact, didn't even acknowledge each other, even while both were up there giving emotional speeches. One person tweeted, "Get your money and stay out the way, bruh. Karma will do justice." The hope had been that Takeoff's death would heal the rift, but instead it showed just how deep the damage ran. Because if grief couldn't bring them back together, Maybe this was never just about music. When those Offset and Saweetie rumors started swirling again, everyone expected Cardi B to come in swinging, but she flipped the script and went silent. That silence made the whispers even louder. It wasn't until she sat down with Jason Lee that she finally touched on the elephant in the room.
And you know that I was finding out that truth in and out. So it's like, if I entertain something that I know is not true on the internet, people be like, oh, it is true because you're addressing it.
She didn't confirm. She didn't deny. That move alone had people convinced she already knew the truth but wasn't about to feed it to the blogs.
I keep going longer and longer and longer. And at the end of the day, I know what's going on in my house.
Well, and you have no problem picking up a phone and calling to clear the air. But that's why I love that. That's the growth.
Things were messy. She just wasn't willing to air it all out for the public. Then came the Oscars after-party drama. Word started spilling that at the Vanity Fair event, Saweetie had a very public moment with Cardi. Eyewitnesses claim Cardi spotted Saweetie, walked straight over and started yelling, "What you got to say now?" According to those there, it got loud. Real ghetto, as one witness put it. But Saweetie didn't raise her voice. She kept her demeanor icy, refusing to match Cardi's energy. She stayed cool, but she didn't fold either. Basically, Cardi was out there making a whole scene while Saweetie stood her ground. Later, Cardi jumped on IG Live talking to somebody over the phone, and that's when the next round of drama kicked in.
You know me. You don't play that. But I'll call you later because I'm on live. I'll tell you all the Tiana later. Bye.
To the fans, it was confirmation without confirmation. Cardi didn't spill the truth outright, but she dropped just enough for everyone to have something to chew on. And Saweetie, she made sure to play her own power card online, reminding everyone that sometimes in beef, silence hits harder than any diss track. $25 million on my back. But let's spin back to Quavo and how Saweetie's reputation started slipping after those first Offset hookup rumors blew up online. When she was with Quavo, she was hip-hop's frosty princess, the McDonald's deal queen.
Video game.
Yep.
She had the Crocs deal. She had the McDonald's deal. She had hella deals just coming back to back to back. She had the Brad Sting. She had her own cartoon.
But after the breakup, the headlines started reading a whole lot different. First came the get your lick back era. Paparazzi snaps with Lil Baby, cryptic social media posts, whispers in the streets. Quavo's camp saw it as pure disrespect. Some fans called it city girl energy. Others, they labeled it something way messier.
Being ran through by this nigga brother and homie.
I don't think slur is the right word. Homewrecker. You can say that. You
slut
feel
and
me?
home. And once you are promiscuous after being a wifey, you lose your reputation. It's now, right? Like you're no longer as popping because right now we all view her as just an outright like slur, right?
Then Chris Brown stirred the pot, sliding in bars about their alleged fling while she was still with Quavo. On his track, Weakest Link, he rapped, "You the weakest link out your clicky, you F my ex, hope." But that's cool. I don't give no F, cause your ex when you was still with her. They say revenge is sweet. Now think about that ish. And Saweetie, she didn't deny it. But when Quavo fired shots on Overos and B's, she wasted no time posting DMs and clapping back with her own ammo. Then came another twist. A blind item claiming she'd allegedly put hands on Quavo's baby mama, Erica Fontaine, after finding out he quietly had a child with her. And this was after the internet already believed she'd been with Offset and had Lil Baby and maybe Chris Brown. Lil Baby, Chris Brown, Erica Fontaine, Offset. The streets couldn't miss it. The common thread was loud and clear. Every single move she made became a headline, and somehow her name always got pulled right back into Quavo and Offset's orbit, whether she wanted it or not. Saweetie's post-Migos chapter, it was never truly her own. Sure, that's her roller coaster, but the real story lighting up every blog right now is the beef between the cousins. After months of icy silence, Offset's new Joe Budden interview ripped the Band-Aid right off every old wound. And the way he was talking, It didn't feel like it was just about Stefan Diggs or some cause and effect talk over past drama. It had layers.
Deal with it in real time when you're looking at it. How do you deal with that? You just like, I'm a
human being. You see me say some sometimes. Yeah. You know what I mean? But then I just had to realize it is what it is.
Even DJ Academics chimed in, weighing in on the podcast, and let's just say his words only made the tension sound sharper.
By the way, I've talked to them. Yo, Offset done fuck, what is it? Saweetie, Chrisean Rock, Ari, like, yo, this is, yo, Offset was piping out chicks that Cardi was supposed to do music with.
Now picture this, Quavo catching Offset backstage somewhere, still heated from all that truth-telling energy. No cameras, no Grammys producers, nobody there to break it up. Just a closed door, a few sharp words, and then hands flying before security even figures out who's in the middle of it. Because this ain't just about a verse or a rumor anymore. This is about years of quiet disrespect, about a brotherhood that went from diamond selling to dust, and about a name, Saweetie, that's still the ticking grenade between them.
We want to see our career as a duo, you know what I'm saying? So we just stand on loyalty, you know what I mean? We stand on real deal loyalty. And, you know, sometimes that shit ain't displayed. And this ain't got nothing to do with no label, no paperwork, no QC, no nothing.
A Migos reunion? Let's just say at this point, people think it'd take nothing short of a miracle. The Cold War is set in stone now. And with both men refusing to clear the air, the streets are left to fill in the blanks themselves, and they're writing their own endings. By now, the streets had accepted it. This wasn't just a rift, it was a fracture that would never heal. But then came the whispers that pushed the whole thing into danger zone territory. Word on the curb, both camps are quietly lining up their own power moves, and neither side plans to blink first. Offset's team is talking about a tell-all project, not some random IG rant, but a polished drop where the verses cut like weapons. Meanwhile, Quavo's camp has been in the studio too, and insiders say he's stacking tracks with enough subliminals to make fans play detective for months. The tension isn't just staying in the booth either. Industry folks are claiming promoters are having to pick sides. Certain venues allegedly won't book them for the same events anymore. Not because they can't share a stage, but because they won't. And the crazy part? Even people who were once neutral are getting pulled into the crossfire. Social media is eating it up, of course. Every post, every lyric, every side-eye photo turns into a fresh round of theories. Some say the beef's gotten so personal, no amount of money could fix it. Others think this is all just a calculated build-up to the most toxic reunion tour in rap history. But the wildest chatter, rumors that someone close to Takeoff left behind unreleased verses, and both cousins allegedly want them for their own projects. If true, that's not just music, that's legacy. And if the wrong person gets it first, the other side might see it as the ultimate disrespect. Cardi's been quiet again, which only adds more smoke. Saweetie's been spotted in different circles, smiling like she knows more than she's saying. And both Offset and Quavo, they're moving like chess players, slow, deliberate, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. At this point, the question isn't if another blow-up is coming, it's when. And when it does, the fallout won't just be another headline. It could rewrite the end of the Migos story for good. But what do you think? Did Offset just poke the bear with that interview, knowing it would stir the pot? Or is Quavo still holding on to a grudge so deep it's never leaving his chest? And if this beef really is over Saweetie, was she ever going to be worth the downfall of one of hip-hop's tightest crews? Some fans swear this has nothing to do with her anymore, that this is about pride, loyalty, and years of unspoken tension finally boiling over. Others still say her name is the live wire between them, the one that could spark another explosion at any moment. Because let's be real, Saweetie's no background character in this story. She's a charting artist, a brand in her own right, a woman who knows how to play the industry game. But she's also been the center of some of the messiest headlines of the last few years. Whether she wanted it or not, her name got stamped into this beef like ink on paper. Offset's out here moving like he's got nothing to lose. Quavo's still carrying himself like a man who's not ready to forgive or forget. And the longer this plays out, the more it's starting to feel like there's no happy ending coming. So, what's next? A surprise reconciliation that shocks everybody? Or one final public blow-up that cements the Migos split forever? Whatever happens, you already know the blogs, the fans, and the streets are going to be watching every single move. If you've been following this roller coaster from the start, you know it's bigger than just gossip. This is hip-hop history unfolding in real time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update on this saga. And when you see the next video pop up on your screen, click it, because I've got even more wild celebrity drama waiting for you there. You think this story was crazy? Wait until you hear what's coming next. See you in the next one.